for the Republican reaction from House Republican Whip Eric Cantor of Virginia. And Congressman Cantor, thank you. We appreciate it when you join us here on the program. And you just heard from the Vice President. He said the President believes he has a clear majority to pass health care reform. Your reaction to that?
I don't know if the Vice President's numbers are correct. I don't think necessarily last night that we heard in the House what we're going to need to move forward on this idea of a government option. And I think, we went last night looking for some specifics. A lot of what I heard has been heard before. I do think, though, that the President did leave open the door for us as Republicans to bring our ideas forward and pointed out some areas that perhaps we could work together. I think we really need to start with some guarantees, though. There need to be some guarantees that the government is not going to take away the health care decision-making from a patient and their doctor. I think we need to start with the guarantee that there won't be any government rationing or discrimination of any kind. And I think we need some guarantees that say we're not going to break the bank with the $1 trillion program. So if we start there, I do think that there are some other areas we can work together. Obviously, the President talked about the pre-existing conditions. We can fix that. Senator McCain suggested a program during last year's campaign that would create universal access programs at the state level. Those are the type things we can do. I wish I had heard some more on medical liability reform, because I do think that's a common sense way to bring down health care costs.
But the President did show some support for what you just talked about, John McCain. Senator John McCain, he did show support for that plan, and he did make some concessions. You talk about the guarantees, but are you willing to some compromises of your own now to go back to the table?
Well, Robin, I think it's very important that we dismiss this notion of a government option. I think if we listen to the American people right now, the fear surrounds this notion that somehow the government will replace the healthcare system that we know in this country. And the fact is, there are probably close to 90% of the citizens of this country that do have insurance. Most of the people that have insurance like the insurance they have, but we've got to do something about the cost. There is no question that the current system is unacceptable. We cannot sustain the current system, so we've got to work together to find some ways to bring down those costs.
A lot of emotion last night, as we saw. A lot of emotion we've seen all across the country. But I want to get your reaction to your colleague, Congressman Joe Wilson of South Carolina, when he said the President lied. Congressman Cantor, what was your reaction when you heard that outburst?
Well, obviously, the President of the United States is always welcome on Capitol Hill. He deserves respect and decorum. I know that Congressman Wilson has issued an apology and made his thoughts known to the White House, which was the appropriate thing to do.
Congressman Eric Cantor, we always appreciate your perspective. Have a good day. Thanks so much for joining us.